Hi, I'm Alan. This is a video. So what we're going to be doing today is I'm going to be introducing you guys to the next extreme demon I'm going to be doing. I've been playing it for a couple days over on twitch.tv/AeonAir. Go check it out if you want to come out, hang out live, and watch me complete these extreme demons live. Anyway, I digress. This is the first time I'm actually going to go for a level that's like really hard that I don't like. I know that in yesterday's video you saw that I did Deception Dive, which is a level that I have for a long time despised. I still do. I don't like that level, but I did it because it's not that hard for me, relatively speaking. But with this level, it's a really hard level that I'm not a huge fan of. And the reason why I wanted to go for this level is simply because I just wanted to challenge myself, beat something that's hard that I'm not gonna have the best time with, because it helps you practice patience. And I wanted to practice my patience as well as ship. So I decided, hey, why not go for something that's kind of hard that I don't like? That way I can practice my patience. And that level is Acu. No, it's not Acu. It's Step to Hell by Lazye. This level is interesting, to put it that way. It has its moment. It's a level that looks really easy when you look at it, and it's a level that doesn't really look that intimidating, in all honesty. But it's just a level that's it's just weird. I'm gonna go through it with you guys in practice one time. I'm gonna show you guys where all the weird spots fall, and I'm gonna show you guys where the level has moments that are way harder than they really should be, so that you guys get an understanding of why this level is hard, because it's number 64 on the demon list. It's a main list demon. It's gonna be my 10th main list, which is kind of crazy to think about, but it's just, it doesn't look that hard. I've gotten a lot of questions asking if this is an insane demon, and I want to go through it. I'm gonna show you guys why this level is hard. I'm gonna show you guys a bunch of like tiny details about it that just makes this level ridiculous. Also, before we start and jump into Step to Hell, please hit that sub button. We're about to hit 69,000 subs. That would be hilarious to do. Can we hit it today? Can we hit it tomorrow? You guys know what to do. Hit that sub button. Thank you. This beginning is pretty easy, up until this shit part. This shit part is hard because it looks like you have a lot of space, but then you realize there's like these like pillars right here that like stick out. So you have to like go below this one, go up here, but not too much up, because otherwise you're going to hit the top spike here and you're going to fall into this yellow portal. So while it doesn't look that hard, if you don't notice those little spikes, that part is really difficult. And then this part is just kind of straightforward. Here you can just like release as soon as you hit the blue portal. The spikes in the ground there are deceptive. That yellow orb is really hard. These jumps right here are very easy. You can just like hold at the maximum jump height for the robot, so those aren't actually timings. But that yellow orb right there, nightmare and a half. And so is this jump. That jump right there over that saw, hate it, disgusting. You do get used to it though, so you get to the drop like very consistently with this level, which is a good thing. But then you get into this monstrosity, which is just a bunch of tiny clicks that just, it requires a lot of control. I think the thing that makes this level really difficult is the fact that it requires control. This is a control level more than anything, and requiring a ton of control to play a level is the reason why it's so high up, because this level truly shows if you're good or not with the game, because anyone can grind out like muscle memory for stuff, but having just raw control over every single vehicle is something that requires a lot. And this level does that very well, where it just tests your control a lot. Then we get to this part. Bloodshot is another part that just looks much easier than it is, because if we speed hack this real quick so I can show you guys, as you can see, there are like these tiny, like, look at this spot there are like tiny spikes. Another one here, that just like adds a lot of difficulty that you can't see upon just watching. You have to play the level yourself to notice these things. And they add a significant amount of difficulty, in all honesty. Like, they genuinely do add a lot of difficulty. And if you take a look at Bloodshot's part, you can see them all over the place. So if you see here, you have to time it between these two with this green orb. So that green orb, while it looks really easy on paper, if I'm like there, like even if it looks like I'm late, I can miss it, right? Like so. I have to be like extremely late on that. It's much harder than it looks. That ball part, it looks really easy, but I find that ball part to be surprisingly hard, actually. It's like swerving between the spikes is just a difficult thing to get hold of. Like, that click is just really hard. It's not the hardest part in the level, obviously, but it's easy to choke up. This particular click and going down here between this spike and that spike is surprisingly hard. They are tight timings, but you do get used to them, thankfully, so they're not like that bad. Here as well, you have to drop down because as you can see here, there's a spike wall, so you have to drop down here as early as you can. That's just another little tiny detail. That green orb, this green orb is surprisingly hard because you can't hit this like super early, because if you hit it too early, you'll hit that saw. You have to hit it late and just at the right power to not go too far up and not too far down. So this green orb, I personally find to be rather hard. And then it gets a little bit easier for like all but one click. That blue orb right there that I just died to, absolutely impossible. And you have to hit it insanely late. Like, that was the absolute earliest I could have hit it. And I hit it like later than most timings in every level. Like, you are so far beyond that blue orb that it's a surprise that it's actually possible anymore, because this was made before the orb hitbox update. This is not too bad. This transition is really bad because you have to like adjust your flying as you're in like a dark screen. Like, it doesn't carry you whatsoever. So you have to adjust your momentum with the ship without actually being able to see the ship, which is pretty hard. It's not super hard. You do definitely get used to it. You do get like you do get like a muscle memory for it. And thankfully, the green orb is a buffer click. So you always have the exact same setup. So you can muscle memory for it. This is where the level becomes ass, in my opinion. Like, up until this point, the level hasn't been that bad, in my opinion. I think it's like perfectly fine. But then you get to this part right here, and it just kind of falls apart. I'm not showing very well, but like, take this UFO for instance. This UFO, it's so weirdly specific, and because you can enter this portal at like different angles every single time, you just kind of have to like cross your fingers that you're gonna be able to pass this UFO. Then you have this portal, because you have to like hold down so you can go into this, and you have to like adjust yourself through this stray fly, which is like damn near impossible. I find 60 to be the hardest click in the level personally. This transition into that ship from that wave is much harder than it looks, I would say, because it doesn't look too bad, but it's a very abrupt transition, and you have to go through like a very tight straight fly. It's hard, that's all I can say. Then you get to this part. This part isn't too bad. There's a little bit of a break point here, though I'm kind of failing miserably at it because I just woke up. Now this is where shit gets real, because as you may see, around the spikes there's a little bit of a glow, right? That's multiple spikes. So this part is essentially, this part is more or less fixed hitboxes. Not entirely fixed, but fixed to the point where they get very obnoxious. So this part looks really easy, but it's extremely tight. Like, extremely tight. So this is not a part that I would ever give praise for. This is probably my least favorite part of the level, and it's horrible. It's really difficult. This is the part that's gonna kill me the most. I can already tell that once I start getting far in this level, like actively, this is gonna be like my choke point, just because this part is just very hard for no apparent reason. Fixed hitboxes either. They're just like semi-fixed hitboxes just to be obnoxious. It's kind of weird. I don't know how to explain it. Also, that little like diagonal wave spam thingy, it's taken more lives than most people can say. Like, that part kills basically everyone at least once. Then this ship part, that ship part right there that I just died to, it's hard to explain, but it's very hard, but it's also very easy. So if I go here, it's not that hard, right? I made it look pretty easy, but it's just like, there's something about that part that's just, it's so easy to mess up, because if you get into the ship part and you have like perfect movement, it's super easy, but it's so easy to lose that desired momentum, because this part is entirely momentum based. So you just kind of like have to hope that after those 3 orbs you get the exact momentum that you want, that way you can pass the ship. Now we get to this part. 84 is like awful because the first jump is blind and the next 2 are just like weird. So after you pass these 2, you're supposed to jump over this. It's just something you have to grind out. I find that part to be like absolutely horrendous. It's damn near impossible. I really don't like it, but there's really not much you can do about it. So you just kind of have to like hope for the best with this part, because that pink orb, when you jump over that single spike, it's so much harder than it looks. That ball click that I just died to, this pink orb, is tied for the hardest click. You have 60 and you have that click, because that click makes absolutely no sense, and it's a complete lottery whether or not you pass it. It's a miracle that you never see anyone die here, I feel like. Like, I wonder if there's like a consistent setup for it, because I have no clue how to consistently do it, but I also never see anyone die to it. So please tell me in the comments if there's a consistent setup for it, because I would love to know if there's a consistent way to do it, because I have no clue how to do it. And at 94%, that is not a good thing to do, like, at all. You do not want to just randomly click and hope at 94%. You have to, in the yellow portal, you have to wait for a split second, go up, and then go down. Like so. And in normal speed, that would be like this. And it's just a very chokeable ending. Overall, this level is brutal. It has a lot of really, really rough edges, and there is a lot of luck involved with this level. But I feel like it's a very approachable level, if that makes sense. I feel like everyone can approach it, but it does require a lot of maneuvering. It does require a lot of just raw control skill, which is not something everyone has. So this is a very rough level in a lot of ways. So yeah, anyway. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. You guys know the drill by now. I would really appreciate if you guys would subscribe to the channel. We're about to hit 69,000. That'd be really cool to do very, very soon. And 70,000 is coming up as well. It's awesome. So yeah. Anyway, thanks for making my day better. Hope I made yours a little bit better too. I'll talk to you guys later. Remember to eat your greens, stay healthy, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.